Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the July 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Capricorn. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising, though, just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so think last few weeks or month. Column number 2 is going to be a general look at July. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note as well. But let's take a look here and see what our summary card is. Again, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or a month for you. We have the card Space. I really like the card Space because this is about giving yourself the time and the space that you need to process, to think, to action. So this is like good energy, Capricorn, of you looking out for you. You really gave yourself that space these last few weeks, which is great to see. Let's see what other messages we have here for you. A nice spread here. The first card that we have is the Ten of Cups. For those of you that have watched my videos before, you know the Ten of Cups is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. It's seriously like the card of everything good. We have the full rainbow here, the happy couple, the kids playing, the grass is green, there's water running, there's a house in the background. It's really all around a great card. The Ten of Cups is a card of family, contentment, total love and support. Really good place to be when we see that Ten of Cups energy. The next card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is a very creative card, but it's very focused creativity. And it's about turning your visions into reality. It also gives you this ability to have very inspired action and make progress on the things that you want to make progress on. Super nice pairing between that Ten of Cups and the Magician card. Then at the bottom here we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is a card of necessary transition. It's interesting because this card looks a little gloomy, but it's actually one that I really like. If you look at the people, they're facing away from us, their heads are hanging down. There's a bunch of swords stuck in the boat, but the boat is moving in a forward, positive direction. So you are going through some sort of transition. It may not have been the exact transition you wanted, but it's the exact transition you needed, Capricorn, which is much more important. This could actually be physically moving or relocating for some of you as well. But let's see what clarifying messages we have here. What other info I can give you on this column. The first clarifier we have is the Wheel of Fortune. So interestingly enough, Capricorn, you actually have my 2 favorite cards paired together at the very first position. So in addition to the Ten of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune is my other favorite card in the entire deck. This is a card of good fortune. It's being at a turning point. And again, we're talking about this transition. So there is some sort of shift that's happening, but it's taking you to the Ten of Cups, which again, it doesn't get better than that Ten of Cups. That's that card of everything you could possibly want. So really wonderful shift happening there for you. The next card that we have is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card of keeping and maintaining boundaries. It's also a card of being really persistent. So as you get to this position of everything, as you go through this turning point in this transition, I do think that there will be new boundaries if it hasn't already happened. And these boundaries help us make sure that we're attracting the things we want and keeping everything else out. This is also about being persistent, though, continuing to push forward. With the Magician, this is again saying you have the ability to create whatever you want. And the Nine of Wands is saying be persistent, keep pushing forward, keep working towards whatever it is that you're hoping for. So nice pairing there as well. Then at the bottom here we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of stress, exhaustion, having too many burdens. If you look at this person, they're carrying all of these wands, they're hunched over into them. They're really stressed out, and it's like being able to put down the wands and move forward, go through this transition. So really neat to see. For those of you that are tired, you're stressed, you're exhausted, you're burnt out, we're transitioning away from this point, which is lovely to see. Again, this is what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so we would love to leave that stress and exhaustion behind there. Now we're going to take a look at just general what's coming for July, Capricorn. So let's pull another summary card here and see what we've got. We have the card Dependability. This is an interesting card. It doesn't come through very often. And we're going to see what kind of how the cards shape up. But there does feel like there is somebody that's really depending on you going into July, more so than usual. It's kind of like you're the constant for somebody, you know. In this crazy world, there's lots of things moving, and you're that consistent constant for somebody. But let's see what messages I can give you here as well. The first card that we have is the Hermit. The Hermit is a card of going within for clarity. It's about making sure that we're living our spiritual path, that we're spiritually illuminated, that we're doing things that feel good and make us happy. If you look at this lantern, this light inside the lantern is the light within you. So this is about checking in with you and making sure things are feeling good for you, Capricorn. We're of course going to clarify that. The next card that we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very confident and very self-assured card. So going back to the Hermit, these actually tie together really quite nicely. This is about knowing what you want, being confident what you want, being able to self-assure yourself that you know what you want and how to get there. So there really does need to be this sort of check-in with yourself to be clear on what you want, and then you need to proceed forward confidently and assured. At the bottom here, we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, award, recognition, good news. So something really celebration worthy, some sort of victory, some sort of good news, some sort of success coming for you in July. Let's clarify though and see what other messages I can give you on this general column here. The first one that we have is the Ace of Swords. Anytime we have an ace card, it is a card of newness. In the case of the Ace of Swords, this is very much so a card of mental clarity. So again, I'm not sure exactly when or how or what this is going to look like for you, Capricorn, but absolutely there needs to be some sort of check-in with you to make sure what you want. Be mentally clear on what you want. Maybe you'll get some sort of new clarity and you're realizing, okay, maybe this isn't exactly what I want and I need to make this shift. But again, that check-in with you and that mental clarity on what you want are very, very important this month. The next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of speed, action, change. Again, there does need to be some sort of shift because right now we're not necessarily doing what feels good for us. We're not really clear on what we want. So the Eight of Wands is showing that kind of correction, that shift, that change of energy. And then with that Queen of Wands, again, that ability to move forward confidently and self-assured. Then at the bottom we have the Hangman. The Hangman is a very stagnant card. If you see here, this person is quite literally hanging there by their foot. It's like we were waiting for some sort of information, or we were waiting for this success, this good news, this recognition. Luckily, though, we are getting that coming through. But whatever this Six of Wands is, there feels like there was waiting where it felt stagnant, like you may never get this success. But here in July, it's going to be happening for you. Now moving into our next column, we're going to take a look at anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, really anything that you associate with money. The first card that we have is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very nurturing, very healing, very supportive. The one interesting thing about this card is if you look at the cup that the Queen is holding, it doesn't at all look like a cup. It's more like a trophy. And this is a reminder that that trophy is you, Capricorn, and making sure, again, that you're taking care of you and your best interest. So really kind of pairs into the cards that's sitting next to it, that Ace of Swords and that Hermit, about you focusing on you cherishing yourself like the trophy that you are. The next card that we have is the Devil card. The Devil card is a card of greed, envy, materialism, obsession. When I see this, oftentimes it's like being focused on something and it's giving too much energy to something. So do be cautious there to make sure that you're not hyper focused on work or a disagreement or a project. This is oftentimes a reminder too to make sure that you're spending money wisely. When I see this as kind of like a budgeting card, it's like, do you really need to make that purchase? Are you reaching your savings goals? So thoughtful spending associated with that Devil card as well. At the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. This is a card of celebration. So you do have two side-by-side celebration cards, which is really exciting to see. But it does feel like there's some sort of victory and celebration coming as it relates to finances and career this month. But let's read through these, clarify, see any other messages I can give you. The first clarifier we have is the Lovers card. This is a card of partnership. I do feel like that there is a relationship with a coworker, potentially your boss, but it may not be. Again, that Queen of Cups is being that supported, healing, nurtured energy. There does seem to be a very strong relationship. So in you taking care of you as this trophy, you do feel well supported in work again by a coworker or boss there. The next card we have, Capricorn, is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is very reliable, patient, and hardworking. You do need to be reliable, patient, hardworking, but again, it can't be that hyper-focused or that worry type energy that we get with the Devil card. So work, but don't overwork is really the message that's here. Also, like we mentioned earlier, don't overspend, be reliable, be patient, be thoughtful with your money there. At the bottom, we have the World card. The World card is a card of completion. It's completing a goal, completing a lesson. It does feel like there's some goal or project or something that's being completed at work that's going to be triggering that Four of Wands celebration. So super excited to see that end point there. Now moving on to our next column, we're going to talk about anything related to love. So think family, friends, children, really anything relationship and love related. Let's see what messages we've got here. The first card that we have is the Ace of Wands. Anytime we have an Ace card, it is a card of newness. With the case of Ace of Wands, this is typically a new project, urge, or inspiration to create. For those of you hoping to get into a new relationship, this is a great indicator for you. This Ace of Wands could be a new relationship. But for some of you, you could be in a relationship, and this could almost be coming through as your desire or, again, your inspiration or urge to create. Maybe you want to grow your family. Maybe you want to adopt, foster. Maybe you want to take the next step in the relationship. But again, there seems to be something new coming through there for you, and definitely the inspiration or urge is there. The next card that we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting for results. It could be also traveling. Oftentimes when we see the Two of Wands, I feel like if you look at this card, this person has like the world in their hand. And it's so clear on what you want right now, but it feels like there's waiting associated with this. And I'm going to clarify this card because I'm not really sure. It's like you have such a clear vision, but maybe it's like it's not the right time to execute, or we don't know exactly how to execute it that on this thing that we want. We're going to clarify though and see what other messages I can give you there. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a card of worry. It can also be a card of isolation. Some of you seem to be feeling alone. There could be a family member or a friend that you're worried about. We're going to clarify that card as well. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, the first clarifier that we have is Temperance. Temperance is a really, really good card. It's a card of balance, harmony. It is also a card of patience. So we have that Two of Wands, which was waiting as well. But I do feel like you could have been waiting for this new relationship or waiting for this next step. You so clearly know exactly what you want, but there does seem to be waiting for whatever reason this month. So just know that things may not move as quickly as you want. Again, you're so clear on what you want, Capricorn, but it's like there's some sort of missing piece here that's going to delay or cause a little bit of waiting. But overall, balance and harmony is a good thing. We love to see that in our relationships, but patience sticking out there as well. We have the Justice card next, which is cause and effect. It's almost like more time needs to pass, more efforts need to be put in before we can get to this point. So again, you're very clear on what you want, but more action needs to happen before we can have that end result, before we have that world in our hand. So just be aware of that. That waiting is just, there's some other things that need to happen here first. Then down into the bottom, we have that Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card of feeling unfulfilled, that feeling of apathy. And again, there's that kind of worry. The biggest thing that I can tell you is patience. So just a little bit more waiting for whatever this is on love. You don't need to feel unfulfilled. You don't need to worry, but we do need to be a little bit more patient. Something needs to happen before you're going to get exactly what you're hoping for as it relates to love, Capricorn. Now we're going to move into our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guide. So something to carry into the month of July. We have the card Clarity. I love the card Clarity. We always need more clarity. When we see this card, it quite literally means we're going to get more clarity. So good to see. There will be clarity on something for you going into the month of July. But let's see what sort of messages we have coming through here, Capricorn. The first card that we have is the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. It's a card of fresh hope, taking chances. It's a new path, new adventure, new beginning. This clarity very likely could lead us to a new beginning. We'll keep reading down our cards here. The next card that we have is the Seven of Pentacles. If you look at the Seven of Pentacles, this is a card of waiting, it's delayed success. This person planted these pentacles and now they're quite literally sitting there waiting, watching them grow. It seems like you've been waiting for this new beginning, but you couldn't execute on this new beginning because you needed clarity on something else. Then at the bottom here, we have the Temperance card. The Temperance card is a card of balance, harmony, and of course, patience and waiting. With this new beginning though, definitely balance, harmony. This is something you've really been seeking. It does feel like the waiting for this new beginning is coming to an end though. This is more of a reflection of the waiting that you had to wait for this clarity. Let's clarify though and see what other messages we have. The first card that we have is the Emperor. The Emperor is a card of strategic planning. When I think of this, this is like long term. It's making the right decisions long term. So this new beginning is really something promising. It's future focused. It's the right thing for the future. It's a really good energy. This new beginning is going to take you a long way. It's going to make sure that you're accomplishing what you want in the future. So good pairing there. The next card that we have is the Ace of Wands. Anytime we have that Ace card, it is a card of newness. So this is this new project, this new beginning. This is saying that waiting is finally over. The patience has paid off. And we are at the Fool. We're at this place with this new beginning. At the bottom, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is a card of collaboration, skill, craftsmanship. Do make sure that you are like putting your best foot forward in this new beginning. Make sure you're committed to it, that you're working hard for it. It's definitely going to pay off though with that Temperance card. Really wonderful balance, harmony. It's kind of this like breath of fresh air that you've been waiting for. All right, Capricorn, at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But question number 1, we have the Queen of Hearts. This is a number 23 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the 9 of clubs. This is the number 26 card. That's also a yes. And question number 3, we have the King of Spades. This is the number 47 card. This is also a yes. So yes, yes, yes for you there, Capricorn. We're going to pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you throughout the month of July. Your crystal this month is Sapphire, which is good for spiritual energy, wisdom, gives you some really profound spiritual experiences, and it's really all about being in the right place at the right time. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your Healing Note says, courage does not always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. Thank you so much, Capricorn, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, when you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. If you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Capricorn, and I hope you have a wonderful July.